tonight, heartbreaking testimony in the crash that killed a teenage girl in Sterling Heights last September. Good evening. It tops our news at 6. Prosecutors say off-duty Warren firefighter Tad Davis was speeding and drunk when he slammed into the Mercury Sable driven by Diana Pazderka. And now we're learning more about what people saw and heard as that crash took place and what happened in the moments that followed. Our Priya Man joins us now with the heartbreaking testimony given today by someone who tried to help. Good evening, Priya.
Good evening, Carmen. Dylan Staller testified in court today that he first went to the vehicle of the off-duty Warren firefighter and he could smell a strong odor of alcohol. He then went to the teen victim's vehicle where he says Diana Pazderka was begging for help, but there was nothing he could do.
A loud boom. It just sounded more like a bomb went off.
Dylan Stallard was at church when he heard the impact. He rushed outside and was the first on scene.
When I got about halfway there, I seen visible flames coming from the vehicles. At that point, I ran back to the building, grabbed a fire extinguisher.
Stallard described seeing the off-duty Warren firefighter slumped over the steering wheel.
I grabbed his head and I turned it towards me because I was in fear that his airway was going to be compromised. At that point, I heard gurgling.
He then turned his attention to 17-year-old Diana Pazderka.
I told her to not move, and she just kept saying over and over again, "Help me, help me."
Stallard, who's an ordained deacon, says the teenager kept trying to speak.
Whatever she would say, I just responded with, "Don't talk, don't talk."
The force of the impact pushed the teen's vehicle back 75 feet. It's alleged Tad Dennis had been drinking for much of the day when he got behind the wheel. Prosecutors say his blood alcohol content was .149. An expert testified there was no evidence Dennis ever attempted to brake. Both the victim and the off-duty firefighter had to be extracted from their vehicles. The Sterling Heights teen died within an hour of the collision. And the crash reconstruction expert says Dennis was going about 80 miles an hour. The speed limit in that area is just about 35. The expert saying there's no way Dennis would have been able to negotiate that turn. Reporting live from Sterling Heights, I'm Priya Man, Local 4.
Priya, I know it was a packed courtroom today. Did the defendant ever communicate with his family?
Well, right at the end of the exam, a few friends and family came up. They shook his hand. He seemed to appreciate their support. But throughout the hearing today, Dennis kept his eyes down. He looked very somber and didn't say very much of anything.
All right, our Priya Man reporting for us live. Thank you, Priya.